So, The Rock dropped a promo on social media tonight, or today, I should say, and he's currently on SmackDown, or was on SmackDown at the beginning here. We get it on delay. We get it about 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock our time, so we'll get it, well, mainly 8 o'clock. We get it at 8 o'clock our time here on the West Coast. But anyway, like I was saying, Rock was, doing a promo earlier today, kind of, via social media. And even WWE on Fox's Twitter page has posted it, and I'm sure WWE has posted it as well. And let's just say he finally gave, or at least from his point of view, he finally gave an explanation as to why he had originally gotten Cody to step aside. And I'll provide a link to the promo if I can find it here on YouTube. And I think even WWE on Fox put it up as well. I'm not really sure. But I'll link it here at the end of the video with the other video annotations, other people talking about it. But he basically gave his version, his explanation as to why things had happened the way they did. And it's a very good promo. Basically, if you're a fan of good storytelling and you're a fan of The Rock, he basically cooked in this. He really cooked and really just stirred the pot, if you will, even further to make you wonder whether or not that perhaps you should be supporting Cody or maybe not supporting Cody. Basically, it's blurring the lines. He even said that because he mentioned, hey, I'm Seth. When he mentioned Seth Rollins in there, he said, Seth, I'm your boss. I'm the director, of the board. Now he didn't, he didn't say that he didn't say that, he was, Ari Emanuel was his boss or anything. He just said, hey, we're buddies. So that might play into something we're not really sure down the line. But, he did really good in this. And he told Seth, look, stay out of this. In his own way, he said, stay out of this, or else that world title of yours may disappear. And that's possibly a clue that we might get a new world champion at WrestleMania and Drew McIntyre if they want to continuously play this up with The Rock. But what's interesting, though, is I listened to this promo, and I'm looking at some of the interesting, shots, if you will, screenshots and clips that WWE on Twitter and WWE Fox on Twitter are all putting up. And to me, I feel like, not only are we going to get some kind of match involving Rock against Cody, whether it's a tag match with Cody and Seth against Rock and Roman, or it's just one-on-one Cody and Rock, I still feel, that even though we're going to probably get some resemblance of that at Mania, I still believe that it's almost being set up, and maybe this is just me, but I look at the clues here. I'm looking at the clues here, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, obviously they cannot make Roman look this gullible. Like, yeah, you can make him look like he's cracking under the pressure of his upcoming title match, and now he's basically playing second banana to The Rock when it comes to the bloodline. But it's like you can't make, somebody that's been your champion, your top guy, the face of your company for the past, almost 4 years. You can't make him look so incompetent or so inferior or so, oblivious to what's going on. You can't make him, turn out to be that way at the end of this. And what I feel is going to happen, and I talked about this before, what I feel is going to happen is depending on the scenario at WrestleMania, whether it's a tag match or a singles match, I think that's when Roman is going to turn on The Rock. I just feel it. And let me explain why. Everybody's saying and making comparisons to Austin and Tyson and DX and all that, and fine, you have a right to do that. But what I believe is going to happen here is that, we're going to be noticing similar comparisons to that and other similar storylines, leading into this match at Mania. But what I think is going to happen is basically when, Rock gets ready to probably let's say it's a singles match. Let's say Rock looks like he's on the verge of beating Cody, and Roman comes out and Roman makes it look like, hey, I'm here to support you and everything. But then all of a sudden Roman turns his back on him, and that allows Cody to win. And then you have Cody kind of surprised, like, why would you help me win and beat your cousin and everything? And then maybe you have Roman get in the ring, after the match, maybe after Cody leaves or whatever, and you have, Roman confront The Rock. Maybe you have Roman after he turns his back on The Rock, cost him the match, and then Rock looks at him like, why did you do that for? Why did you turn up your back on me? We're family. I could see Roman saying something along the lines of, I know what you're planning. I know you're working with Cody, and, pretty much your plan or whatever plans you had to get this off me, to teach me a lesson, it's gone up in smoke. Or something like that. Basically, I expect Roman, excuse me for a second. Sorry about that. But like I said, basically, I could see Roman saying something that along those lines. Like, he waited for the right moment to expose Rock. Basically, expose the fact that he knows that Rock and Cody are in cahoots. And that, basically give Rock all the credit in the world. Give him all the credit in the world. He tried to fool him, but he was on to him since day one or something like that. I just feel and believe that Roman, he's going to fail. There's no doubt. Unless WWE decides to pull out all heartstrings again, if you will, and really piss off everybody, especially at the 40th anniversary of WrestleMania. But anyway though, even though, like I said, Roman's going to lose everything, you cannot, as I mentioned earlier, you cannot make this guy that you've been pushing as champion for over 1,200, almost 1,300 days. You can't, you just can't have him, as you're getting closer to WrestleMania, one of the biggest WrestleManias of all time, and an anniversary one at that. You can't just have this guy, suddenly, be made to look incompetent, be made to look oblivious to what's going on, make him look stupid and all that. Because of this one constant thread about Roman is that Roman has always, had a plan. He's always had like a backup plan, a plan B for the plan A, a plan C for the plan B, and so on. He's always had a step ahead of the competition and his opponents. So to me, you can't have someone like Roman that's been put in that kind of position, looking incompetent and inferior, and not be oblivious to, not be oblivious to what's happening, around him. And again, all the signs are there. Even tonight, you go on social media, on WWE, on Fox's Twitter account, WWE's Twitter account, and so on. And, and even a couple weeks ago, if you will, the signs are there. The little hints, the little Easter eggs are there. And to me, I feel that whatever we're going to get at WrestleMania that's going to involve Rock and Cody and potentially Seth and Roman, I've got a feeling Roman's going to turn on The Rock. Like I said, if, it's a singles match between Rock and Cody, I could see Roman coming out, making it look like he's going to help Rock, and then he turns on him. And then he reveals basically that he's been onto him and Cody's little plan to take this title away from him since day one. You could do that. And basically what that does is that throws a little bit of a wrench into the story arc, if you will, because now you have to wonder, okay, Roman's onto them, so he's going to expect Rock to cost him the match the following night. So how do you work around that? And you could do the same thing if it's a tag match. Like, Rock's getting beat down, or he's going toe-to-toe with Seth or Cody, and, like I said, he gets beat down and everything, or he has a double down, if you will, during the match. And, let's say Cody's reaching for Seth, and, and Rock's reaching for Roman, and all of a sudden, just as he's about to tag Roman, Roman jumps down. And he heads over to the timekeeper's area, grabs his belt, walks away, and he's chanting, and Rock's, has this look on his face like, "What are you doing?" And you can have Roman just yell at him, I see, you can have Roman yell something of, "I know what you're doing. I know what you and Cody are planning, and it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You're not taking this from me. You're not taking this from me, or something along the lines, like I said, he can, like I said, you can have him probably tell Rock, "I've been on to you since day one. I see what you and Cody are doing. You're not taking this from me. You're not taking this from me." And you can have him leave. You can have him leave. And that can make things interesting for the next night as well, because you could have Rock confront him and maybe say, "I don't know," and maybe tell him, "Hey, look, I don't know why you believed I was going to turn on you. I don't know where you got that theory or where your mind is there. That's not what I was planning to do. I was planning to support you, be there for you, and everything." And again, this could all lead to Roman losing his championship at the end of Mania. But what you're doing in the long run, in the process, I should say, is you're making Roman look, not look so incompetent, not so oblivious to what's happening. You're basically, making him look like the tribal chief, the head of the table, the guy that's always been, several steps ahead of the competition. You're making him look, like he always should be. Basically, the final boss. The M. Bison, the Shokan, if you will, of WWE. That's what you're making him look like. And by doing so, and by doing this scenario that I feel is going to be the direction, or at least I believe it could be, just based off what we're seeing, by doing so, you're basically keeping Roman, on top. You're basically keeping him on top of things, or at least a step ahead, going into his match with Cody. So to me, I think in the long run, even though we're going to have an interesting ride between now and Mania, I honestly believe what's going to happen, is come Mania, whether it's a one-on-one match, Rock against Cody, or it's a tag match, Cody and Seth against Rock and Roman. I feel what's going to happen is Roman's going to turn on Rock. And it's going to be because that he sees through what Rock's trying to do, or what Rock and Cody in his mind are trying to do. And to me, that inevitably will play into him losing his championship at WrestleMania. It will. But what you're doing in the process, like I said, is you're still making him look competent. You're still making him look like, hey, he's going to be, miles, if not steps ahead of the competition, or those that are trying to, take his, status as tribal chief and head of the table of WWE, away. So I believe, I believe honestly that as we get closer, you're going to see more moments, more Easter eggs, more hints, if you will, that's probably going to be the direction they head in. Now, am I wrong? Maybe. But to me, being a longtime fan, to me, all the hints are there. All the signs are there. It's very obvious. It's very obvious they're going to do something to that extent. And how they do it, how they accomplish it, come Mania, that's on WWE, that's on Rock, that's on Triple H, that's on Brian Gertz, that's on the whole team that's working on this. But we'll have to see. We'll just have to wait and see, what steps they're going to take, to get to that point at Mania. Is the next step going to be, one-on-one, with Cody, or a tag match with Cody and Seth against Rock and Roman, and do either way during one of those kind of matches, Roman comes out maybe and costs Rock the match if it's singles, or walks away from the match, if it's a tag. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. But I'm gonna tell you this. Just be on the lookout for a lot of those signs, a lot of those hints and Easter eggs over the next several weeks. Because the more you see, the more they show it, the more it's going to give you an idea potentially of how things are going to play out, at WrestleMania, depending on what kind of match we get. But I don't think Roman's going to, honestly, I do not think Roman is going to basically go throughout this entire, road to WrestleMania looking incompetent and oblivious to what's going on. I think he's going to catch on to what's going on. And depending on the scenario at Mania, he's going to reveal to The Rock that he's always been on to him and to an extent Cody and what they've been planning since day one. And that they're not going to, and that no matter what they do, they're not going to take away his championship or his status as, tribal chief or head of the table. That's just my theory, though. That's just my theory. But what do you guys think? Good Mike with Greg Morgan, Jason Solomon, JD, Alex. Let me know what your thoughts are, guys. Give me your thoughts down below. Love to hear from each and every one of you on this, because I know you have your own theories and speculations. But I feel this is probably one of the best scenarios and logical directions to go in when it comes to Roman and his, part in this, story. But let me know what your thoughts are. Comment below, live chat during the premiere, and I'll talk to y'all later.